real estate happens to be the holy cow sector for, for the Indian regulator. Overprotective, over-apprehensive. I think the regulations have, to an extent, been overstretched. Now let's look at the sources of funding. I think Milan made a wonderful presentation there saying that, the sources of funding are pre-sales, which in India you can use freely, unlike other developed economies where they put into an escrow and you cannot use it. So that is one source. Bank finance. Unfortunately, the way it happens now is there are severe exposure limits, and the exposure to real estate has been severely limited in terms of real estate. NBFCs, again, which were doing a good job. Now, again, the new working paper restricts, NBFC exposure to real estate so long as that exposure is leveraged on bank finance. So I think 2005, or actually 2001, we felt the need that, and somewhere down the line, the regulator realized that there is a need for institutionalization of the real estate, making it larger. There was technology required, there was scale required, there was transparency required. And I think to those extents, 2001, we for the first time opened up, real estate under the 100-acre township route. But that was subjected to government approval. It diluted down 2005, and it came down to 50,000 square meters for construction development projects. Certainly, over the period of time, and when everyone started betting on Indian real estate, which seemed to have never failed anyone, in India, real estate grows unlike anywhere else. And when it did take off, somewhere down the line, I think the regulator became over-apprehensive. Whatever the reasons may be, the apprehension of a real estate bubble or whatever, the policies were changed in such a way that it changed the entire framework of the industry. Now let's just take, for example, the 3-year lock-in. The 3-year lock-in, when an investor invested in the real estate sector, he was told that your minimum capitalization is locked in for 3 years. That means the 5 million or the 10 million was locked in for 3 years. But there was no clarity in that press note to 2005. That one pager created more ambiguity than it ever did. And we represented, and we and the USIBC represented to the government, and we found and we sought for more clarity. And when the clarity ultimately came up, it turned out that now the 3-year lock-in is not only for minimum capitalization, but it turned out that the 3-year lock-in is from each tranche of investment. Now, this is something which is divorced from the entire functioning of the industry. In industry and such a high-risk asset like real estate, where everyone would like to link it to construction-linked phases, even as retail investors, where we are putting in small money, we want it to be construction-linked. Now think of a situation where the project is almost ready and a clubhouse needs to be built up, and for that money, if the developer needs money, you tell him, okay, you can put in the money, but this money will now be further locked in for 3 years. Now at a stage when, let's say, it's 3-year or 4-year done up, you can't lock him in for 3 years more, especially considering that this is limited capital from institutional investor side. FECI investments were blocked in real estate. VSAFE has also been blocked for real estate now. So I think to some extent there has been over-apprehension, but I don't understand how much of it is really working in favor. Similarly, for secondary transactions in real estate. I mean, if you look at it from an exit perspective, today, what are the exit avenues available for an FDI investor, which is coming in? The exit avenues, the IPOs in real estate happen, but they don't happen as much. One of the most important points I would like to make is that we can deal with a bad law, no problem. This is the law, we know what it is. But what we cannot deal with is an uncertain law. So I think that's my broad thought process on this.